There's a legend of a rugged and sandstone-covered region that conceals within its canyons a stunning desert oasis, whose beauty is so extreme that it's almost inconceivable. It was no secret to the ancient ones, and the evidence of their existence is abundant. I've been waiting for the perfect season to venture into this area and discover its secrets for myself. I started early, trying to find a way in from the top. I don't know why, but I couldn't shake the feeling that I was being followed. Perhaps it was just in my mind, but it sounded like there were footsteps behind me. Hey everybody, it's Andrew from Desert Drifter. Thanks for tuning in.
All right.
Whoa, what are you doing here?
I think it's time we give your subscribers a true host.
Do you think they're tired of me or something?
I think they might be.
Well, clearly we have a special guest on this episode, Mrs. Drifter herself.
Well, you could just call me Evelyn.
Well, you heard it there from the boss. Let's do this thing.
I've been waiting on you.
Parody aside, I was fortunate to have my lovely wife along for this trip. We set out from the top, hoping to find a break in the cliff bands that would allow us to descend into our objective. It's pretty chilly out here this morning. We awoke to quite a bit of snow up in the high country. I mean, we weren't there, but we could see it. Still a little bit of winter holding on up there, but we will happily take it. I think it's supposed to be kind of low to mid 60s today, which is perfect weather for a day out hiking. The cacti are starting to bloom up here. I love spring out here because you never realize how much color the desert can have till you see it in spring. Evelyn just lost her chapstick up there. This is real life behind the scenes. Evelyn, did you find an ancient artifact?
Just my lip gloss.
Oh gosh. Evelyn's doing a little slabby down climb early this morning. I think once we get down here, we can kind of keep working our way into the canyon over there. Yeah, we came down back over here. I think for a second I thought we were cliffed down. We had to go back, but pretty sure I think we can make this work. Yeah, that's not bad, Evelyn. We are in. Evelyn's trying to get a little camouflage here. Man, this place is gorgeous. Man, look at these big old cottonwoods.
Wow. All these yellow flowers.
It is an oasis down here. So we just dropped down by the creek here, and I spotted up there in the desert varnish some rock art right up there in the center. I'm using a different lens today so it doesn't zoom as much. Okay, here we are right below it. Pretty typical for what you see in this area. You've got, I imagine, some bighorn sheep, a snake, in the upper right there, some anthropomorphic figures. I was just looking, it kind of looks like an exclamation point, doesn't it? I'm sure that's not what it is, but I'd imagine this is probably eroded away over time, so I can't get too close to them. But there's definitely a figure up there. Over here. Something. So the rock art we just looked at sits up there. This is kind of a big bend in the creek. And I would imagine possibly it's up there because there's this really nice kind of flat spot that would be great for camps. I doubt the ancient ones would have built permanent structures down there because if you look, you can see a bunch of flood debris. So when this, I mean, it's a peaceful, beautiful looking little creek, but when that thing flash floods, you would not want to be down there. Given the natural resources here, it's no surprise this area has sheltered humans for millennia. Lush grass, abundance of water, plentiful game, firewood, natural shelters, I mean, you name it, this area has it. Because of this, the history is rich here, from the earliest hunter-gatherers to the first white settlers in the 1800s. Mesmerized by the beauty and captivated by the human story, we continued on. Evelyn says I need to remember to tell you guys what it smells like. How would you say it smells, Evelyn?
It smells like sage. I don't know, like flowers? It's about as descriptive as I can get.
Well, there you have it. It is very earthy. Lots of beaver activity in here. Been seeing their sign all day. So this piece of chert caught our attention and we took a closer look. It's definitely been worked. It's hard to say, I mean, it's broken here. So it's hard to tell what exactly it was, but undoubtedly it was some kind of a tool or projectile point. So there's this interesting side canyon up here that cuts into the main canyon, so we're gonna go see what's up that.
Andrew, look at that. How's that even possible?
Huh.
It's like a teeny patch of soil it's growing out of.
Yeah, that is wild. It's like a little tree just, I mean, gosh, is there even soil there? It must be just a little crack that it put roots in.
It's amazing.
This place incited new wonder with every turn of the canyon. It truly felt like we were exploring a paradise. We continued up the side canyon, eventually coming to a large overhang. Pausing, we looked for signs of the ancient ones. Undoubtedly, it's been used in the past. I mean, it's just too good of a natural shelter not to. But I was really hoping we'd find some rock art or even an old rune or something up in here. But this alcove isn't totally without trace of the ancient ones. I noticed there's this broken corn cob down here. It doesn't surprise me they were growing corn all up and down this canyon with all the water that was available. There's some really bizarre looking soil here as well. It's like a massive sandcastle. The sound of the wind and the cottonwood leaves is probably one of my favorite sounds out here. So we walked back and eventually this canyon comes to an end, but it's Evelyn's up there checking out. There's a big cave or something of that sort right there in the center of the screen. Then there's a huge alcove up here. We'll have to go check that out. Then on the other side of the canyon, there's this huge natural arch. Wow. There's Evelyn the Explorer. Better be careful, she's gonna start her own channel called Desert Driftus. Wow. That is cool. Pretty big arch, I'd say maybe 80 feet tall to the lower bottom of it. Looks like Dick Zufelt, but I'm kind of confused. It says 1910. Oh, must be the old way of writing it. So October 19th, 1935. This setting, with the natural arch, was truly a stunning area. We looked around closely for clues from the old ones. Once again, we found numerous corn cobs, this time eroding out of a large bank of dirt and sand. Did they store a surplus from their harvests here? Or were these cobs left here from a habitation site they had in the back of this canyon? I don't know, but it's not hard to imagine why they were drawn here. Surely, they recognize the same beauty that we do. Evelyn and I took advantage of the setting and paused to eat lunch and discuss what we had seen thus far. After we ate, Evelyn volunteered to take the steep and loose climb to go explore the large alcove, while I flew the drone. Pretty good trade, if you ask me. Her report? Just a bunch of bird poop. That's real life exploring sometimes. Back on trail, we headed to the main canyon to continue our exploration there. What do you see up there, Evelyn?
I think there's two ram petroglyphs.
Let's go check it out. Up under here?
Yeah. Do you see that black portion on the wall? Am I making that up, or there's like one on the left and then one on the right?
Yeah, I see what you mean. Gosh, that's hard to tell. So it does look a lot like a bighorn sheep
Yeah.
petroglyph, but it's also, I don't know, it's hard to tell. Is it just the way the rock is crumbled off? What do you guys think? Beauty mixed with pain. Kind of like life sometimes, huh? So we came up on this bench overlooking the creek, and we started to see just all these chert flakes kind of scattered all throughout the soil here. And although sometimes it might seem random, in my experience it never really is. If you do a little sleuthing, you can maybe figure out why this stuff's here. Let me walk over to the edge here and show you guys the creek down below. So you're up above the creek here, and if you were along this edge, I mean, you'd be pretty well concealed from anything below you. So my guess is this was probably a popular spot to ambush prey walking down in the canyon below by the creek. You could easily have a hunter, stationed along this ledge, concealed, watching for game below. Meanwhile, you got your buddy just up the hill a ways, making arrowheads and whatnot. Or it could have been a popular spot where they just sat during the daytime when game's not likely to be moving, and then as, say, dusk came, move to the edge, watch for prey. I don't know, my theory anyways. So here's the bench out here. I noticed up against the cliff face, there's a little piece of desert varnish, and that's definitely, some kind of a snake or geometric design. It gets a lot of weather exposure, so I mean, it's definitely not in the best of shape, but okay, we found something pretty cool over here. We were working our way back down towards the creek, and Evelyn spotted this kind of glimmering in the sun. Definitely a point, broken again, like the one we found earlier. So then I started looking close, and a few feet away, found this other chunk. You want to grab that? We're just trying to put them back where they were. And you put them together, they're definitely not a perfect match. It's almost like there's a middle piece missing, but that would be probably a spear point given the size of it. So they were here. No surprise though, really. Continuing on, we eventually spotted another intriguing looking overhang. Having to turn it into a competition, I took a different wash than the one Evelyn pointed out. Evelyn went a different wash, so we'll see who gets there the quickest. Dang, she had a head start, I promise. So we came back in what I kind of call like a large amphitheater. There's some pools of water. Main canyon sits back over that way. Once again, this alcove had a significant scatter of lithic flakes. Whether they dwelled permanently back here, or it was just a popular place to sit in the shade and make tools, I'm not sure. Look at this cottonwood log that has been lifted up there by a flood at some point in time. And that's a good, 12 to 15 feet from the creek bottom. Just goes to show when the water's raging through here, you do not want to be down here. If possible, the setting seemed to get even more beautiful as the day wore on. The sounds of nature, mixed with the smells of wild roses, sage, and juniper, topped off with the colors of the rocks and fresh spring greenery, made the afternoon a true sensory overload. All right, so we were about to turn back because the shadows are kind of starting to grow long, and we've come a decent ways. You know, we got a ways to hike back.
Sure do.
But we were like, let's go just a little bit further. You know, you can always go a little bit further. I look up there and I'm like, well, it's not a very big alcove, but there's something, and I don't think the camera is picking it up very well. It could be a pile of rocks. Honestly, I have no idea. But we are gonna go and see if we can scramble up there and see what that is. It looks scrambly, so we're just gonna drop packs here, I think, and see if we can find a way up. I gave Evelyn a head start. I stashed the camera gear. She's blazing the trail over there. She's gonna be happy to get there before me. I think I'm gonna go an easier way, right over there. Sorry for the wind noise. According to Evelyn, there's something pretty fascinating up here. What is it?
It's like a sculpture of space. It's
Oh.
amazing.
What? Holy cow.
I think there's like a bird in it.
Wow. This is, gotta be honest, I've never seen anything like this out here. Makes you feel like you're in South America or some ancient place, doesn't it?
It's incredible.
There's like a tree sprouting out of his head. Some kind of a bird. I don't know what type of bird that's supposed to represent. It's really ornate the way, these roots have been done, the tree trunk.
Yeah, look at these branches. That's pretty crazy.
Yeah. Huh. Wow. Well, it's definitely not what I expected when I saw something down below, and there is actually a structure over here. I mean, this, I would say, has clearly been done by somebody modern day. When? No idea. I don't think that this is ancient. If it was, it would be quite a discovery. But it's still, I mean, wow, like really impressive.
Yeah.
Impressive artwork, whoever came out here and had the vision for that. Evelyn was the first one up here. And what'd you think, Evelyn, when you saw it? She saw it from down below.
Yeah, I caught a glimpse of it down there, and it just like blew me away. And it honestly kind of gave me this haunting feeling when I first saw it. It's just kind of looking down at you. It's pretty crazy.
So here's the back side of the block. I mean, there's nothing there, but it's kind of cool. He's looking out over the canyon here. So here's the cave. And honestly, what I first saw from down there, I'm pretty sure was this, and I was like, is that just a pile of rocks, or, is that a ruin? So we were across the canyon, like down over here. Now, whether or not this is completely a modern day construction, or, there was some other ruin here, it's hard to say. So there's a little, almost altar of sorts up here. There's a piece of metal here, maybe, I don't know, maybe from miner days. See some, old ash and charcoal from campfires, and yeah, you can see some blackening up on this ceiling. I'd say it's safe to say that this cave has probably sheltered people for generations up until more modern day. I'm a big advocate for leave no trace ethics. I think there are already enough unintentional ways we're making an impact upon the land that we don't need to go out and intentionally leave our mark in the natural environment. That being said, I had to admit this sculpture was pretty amazing. In many ways, it enriched our experience, rather than detracted from it. A discussion on outdoor ethics is a topic for another day, and undoubtedly there will always be different opinions. But as we took in the view and the impressive artwork, I had to imagine that even the ancient ones would have been impressed. Thanks for tuning in.
Thanks for tuning in.
Yeah, I guess she's grateful too. Hit subscribe if you want to keep exploring the Southwest with me.
And me.
We'll see about that. Well, let us know what you guys think. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you like Mrs. Drifter along, maybe she'll make another guest appearance at some point.